so years, but I haven't often turned up at a Bring a Box meeting, so I guess my face isn't that familiar to most of you. When I prepared this talk, I took it upon me to assume that most of you would be familiar with the rep rap, and I wouldn't need to give you an introduction or an overview. Since I've met some of you this morning, some people said, oh, I've never seen one of these before in the flesh. So I'm going to skip the introductory bit saying what it is, apart from it is a plastic printer that makes 3D objects using plastic filament and heat. And of course it's driven by a piece of software. So that's all I'm going to give you in terms of an overview. This talk is really about my point of view, why and how I got started with a rep rap, what I'm using it for at the moment, and what I'm planning to use it for ultimately or later. So how it got involved in this to begin with was there was a posting on the Surrey Linux user group introducing a Reading-based group that was starting up in order to build three-dimensional printers. About a year previously, I'd seen a three-dimensional printer, a 3D printer, at the Science Museum. And looking at it, I thought, well, it would be really fun to have one of those things that I don't really know what it is that I would use it for. I never thought I would actually own a 3D printer, but when this group was announced, I thought, yep, I've got to join, I've got to take part in it. And I'm pleased to say that other people from this Linux user group have also joined in, as Chris Roberts, Jackie Caron, Freaky Clown, Alan Cox as well is a member from here. The user group initially, let me see if I can bring up the first slide, second slide. I was having difficulty with this. Come on, sorry. Next. Oh, that's going to be pretty awkward. The Thames Valley Rep Rap user group was formed. It consisted of 2 or 3 people who'd got a bit of hands-on experience with these kind of printers, and maybe 20, 25 other people like myself who thought it would be good to have one but have no idea what's involved. Fortunately, the people with experience had enough nous to organise us to do the bulk buying, decide what was necessary, and to create parts for issue to us. Also, between them, they had about 3 working printers, and those printers were set to work in order to produce the hardware parts for the printers that we were going to build. So, very, very slowly, over the course of many months, kits of parts were issued to us, each kit having only a tantalizing small part of the printer in it. So it took many months to build, and for me, every time I got a kit of parts, I put them all together. But because it came in small batches, it was a slow process, and I think with hindsight that was a good thing, because I put these bits together very carefully, and my printer is, I think, better for it, for not having been assembled in haste, because it is important to get everything right and not just sort of slap it together quickly. Move on. Half of the rep raps that we started, which is I think a group of about 20, about half of them are printing now, and of the 4 that are in the atrium, there's 2 of them finished and 2 of them unfinished. So it's typical of the whole group that about half of them are ready. Once it is built up, it needs quite careful adjustment, and this is where being part of a group of people building is a great previous means of communication with each other. We use Google Groups for as a mailing list, effectively. We use IRC for instant question and answer, and there's a website to which we contribute what we know or how to do this, that, or the other articles when we feel like it. That completes me talking about the group, the Thames Valley Rep Rap Music Group, except to say that there is a new build starting up fairly soon. When 20 people or so are ready to go, it will start. But I'll give a little bit more details about that at the end of the talk. Now, what do I use it for? Well, I use it to make brackets and boxes,